What's going on? It's Cash Media. We back at it again with another week. NFL Week 3 just concluded yesterday with Monday Night Football. It's been a little bit since we had a live stream, so we're going to get into it and talk about some things that we want to bring to y'all attention. Got my main man here, Rob. You know,
Yo,
he had a bad week. You know, his Chargers lost.
man, it was a very tough loss, man, and we had a loss of a lot of good players too, man.
For sure. We're gonna get straight into that. We're not even gonna waste no time. So, hey, like and subscribe. You guys are tuning into the video, and we're gonna get into it. So, first one is let me pull this up right now. And since it's your team, one second. I'll just share this. All right, so let's start with your team, bro. Chargers and Steelers. I mean, really the overview of week 3. I mean, we're gonna dab into a lot of things, but let's start with this game because the Steelers are one of the teams that are still uh, one of the unbeaten teams in the league, along with 3 others. But this specific game, I feel like had early stakes into the season. Steelers are obviously on the roll. Chargers, I still look at them as a competitive and good team if staying healthy. But there's a lot to take away from this game. Justin Fields being the starting quarterback, given the competition between Fields and Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, I believe, is still hurt. So Justin Fields has just been, taking the helm, and the Steelers are in good position within the division. So, given this loss, like, what do you take away from, this game specifically?
Um, I definitely considered, the Chargers still a contender if healthy, just like you said. Um, the game was going good all up until Justin Herbert got hurt, and
Mhm.
that kind of killed the whole morale of the team. I think. We were going back and forth as far as points until Justin Herbert got hurt. J.K. Dobbins, he wasn't producing as well as he had been in the last 2 games.
Mhm.
So we kind of had to get to the short passing game where we're throwing slants here and in routes here and things like that, and that was starting to work. Um, but Steelers defense, man, those guys are tough, and those guys are they don't stop coming at you. And T.J. Watt, he basically wrecked the game. Him and what's the D lineman? What's the D lineman's name?
Cam Hayward.
Cam Hayward. Him and TJ completely wrecked the game. Even when Justin Herbert was in, they were a problem.
Mhm.
But definitely, we have to stay on top of these injuries moving forward and seeing how we're going to play because we still want to at least make it to playoffs and give ourselves a chance.
Mhm. So,
I've been seeing on social media, everybody saying, is Justin Herbert going to play next week because we have the Chiefs.
mhm.
Uh, you know, honestly, I don't think he can play. He not can play. I don't think he should play. I should say.
Mhm.
Um, I think we should start Taylor Heineke. Give Heineke this week to get in good with the offense. Run the offense and get a feel for everything. Because Taylor Heineke, when he was playing on the team where he had a little had a little experience, such as the Redskins or the Commanders, I should say.
Mhm.
Uh, he was doing good. He was producing yards and throwing good passes and things like that. So I think this week we should let Taylor Heineke take over the offense in practice, so he can get a good feel for everybody. We're still missing Joe Alt. We're still missing Rashawn Slater, which is both of our most important tackles on the
Mm-hmm.
end.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say at this point, we need to let the team prove who they are. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because if the team can win without the key factors, especially on the defensive side, Derwin James. I don't know if you've seen they recently suspended him for this
Yeah,
game,
I saw that.
which I disagree with
Mm-hmm.
because Derwin
What was that
James.
for again specifically?
Eh, if you're asking me, Derwin James is a hard nosed football player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He,
very
he
physical.
comes down. He very physical. He comes down with a shoulder pad and helmet, and he hits you, just like they did back in the day, just like Ed Reed would back in the day. You know, but the league has changed nowadays, so they probably reviewed last game because he if you look at last game, he has three hits where he's completely knocking a guy down, just running full speed, completely blowing them back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure they reviewed those plays and said that he's a hazard to the game. So they decided to suspend him for this game.
Mm-hmm.
And, going back to the I believe 2021 or 2022 Chiefs and Chargers game where Derwin James slammed Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. I remember that
They
game.
definitely want to protect the
They're,
Chiefs
they're,
as well.
they're valuable assets.
The
The Swifties.
valuable assets, yes,
We got to protect the Swifties, bro. They're
yes,
right.
man. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a tough game next week. Like I said, I think this game was a good game all up until Derwin James. I mean, not Derwin, but all up until Herbert went out. They played a good game, and then that morale kind of went down
Who played
once.
a good game, in your opinion?
I think both teams played a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I think both teams played a good game. We couldn't get our run game down, but we still managed to score. You know,
Mm-hmm.
on another account. Um, and like I said, up until Herbert got hurt, it was neck and neck. I think they were up only by 3 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
No, I got you. So I mean, I gave you some of my thoughts yesterday when we were just having like a regular conversation. I didn't think Justin Herbert should have played in that game, bro. I think they really put him at risk, and that kind of aligns with the article that I stumbled across. Uh, as I was just reading, some stuff throughout the week, and basically, like with the highlight of the title was that Justin Herbert needs to be saved from himself, right? Like, um, and to give some insight on that, basically, it's like going into this game, we saw the notifications, the alerts, the headlines that Justin Herbert had a high ankle sprain. Especially going into this game where Steelers are one of those physical teams and their defenses are one of those teams where you got to be on your P's and Q's. And I understand, the Chargers uh, wanted to protect him, which is why they went down the route of drafting an O line and beefing up their front core, so he can have a lot more productivity and obviously stay on the field. But my assessment with it, as a whole, is that I think this is an organizational failure. I think the fact that they let him play in this game, given the stakes and given the situation, because the Chargers gonna, they're lining up to go against the Chiefs, which are obviously the number one team in the NFL right now. And then given the fact that they're also a divisional rival, right? That win slash loss is more important than them winning or losing against the Steelers. Now, I'll throw out a scenario, right? Like if I was in that position. Um, One second, switching back to the stream. Yeah, so going back into that, right? If they sat out Justin Herbert from the very beginning and then played Tyler Heineke, right? You're still going to rely on what they would still have to rely on what they've been doing the first 2 weeks. Run the football, stop the run, right? And that's why it kind of confused me on why they still felt like they had to play him in this game, because if he had a high ankle sprain, they could have sat him out for this week. You take the risk with Tyler Heineke. If you lose the game, yeah, nobody wants to lose a game, but they still would have been in this position anyway. Justin Herbert would have had an extra week to heal up and then prep for that Chiefs game at home, right? And then be able to play against the Chiefs the following week and then line up for the bye week. So even if he got hurt again in that Chiefs game, he still would have had an extra week, play the Chiefs, because that would have held them, that would have tied them in the division, right, with the Chiefs, and then going to the bye week, Justin Herbert would have had more time to heal up, and then the season is back underway, right? That would have been the perfect scenario, but instead they insisted on letting him play. The result that we had feared was Justin Herbert getting hurt again. And then so now, we're left in this position with the Chargers as to, what they intend to do the following week against the Chiefs. Because, you know, divisional games, bro, especially like, how the Chiefs has been looking. The Chiefs haven't even been like I wouldn't say the best team in football. Because I think they are the best team in football, at least one of them anyway. Definitely top two, top three. But you got to look at those games as if you have to look at them as must wins, especially against the Chiefs, and because they're the ones that you're really competing for the division. They're the people that you're competing for the division with, and that's going to put you in a better position moving forward. Now, going back into this game, right? We already knew that this game was going to be extremely physical. Like they were matching up for a majority of the game. Like you said, they were going back and forth for a lot of it until the morale just kind of sank when Justin Herbert got hurt on the field, right? But even looking at this game, right, their offense just didn't produce as much productivity, on the offensive side of the ball. Like I'm pointing out some things, and I'm looking at some things here is that the Steelers doubled their first downs. All right. They had the same amount of drives, but they had 20 more plays. Look, the Chargers had 168 total yards. Total compared to, so they had the same amount of drives, and then the Steelers still had close to 200 more total yards than the Chargers in this game. And then Justin Herbert's a better quarterback. Now, yes, Justin Herbert had a decent day, throwing, like he had more, he had more completions than incompletions. But Justin Fields had a better day. He outplayed him in that game. He was 78% from his completion percentage. And yeah, he had that interception, but ultimately, he put his team in the best position to win. And Najee Harris, he had 18 carries. It wasn't like one of those games where he was going to blow your socks off. But 18 carries for 70 yards, it's still productivity. And then given the fact that you really the high point of or the highlight player of this game was really the receivers, players like Calvin Austin III, who had that big play and also had a touchdown in this game close to the century mark. George Pickens had a couple key catches throughout that game though also. So I mean the way I see it, I mean, like the Steelers were just way too physical for this Chargers offense. J.K. Dobbins just simply wasn't enough in the backfield to be able to carry that hump. Gus Edwards, I know they signed him from the Ravens too, along with J.K. Dobbins. He just didn't produce enough. He only had 3 carries for 9 yards throughout that game. His longest rush was only 6 yards. J.K. Dobbins, who received the majority of the carries, only had 4 yards, an average of 2.9 carries per carry, and his longest rush was 13 yards. So, I mean, there's not really much to take away from this on the Chargers end. I mean, I just see it more so as a bad week, and then they're just going to have to pick things back up and reassess from here. But the Steelers are really the most surprising team in this right now, especially considering where they're at in the league, right? Like nobody had thought the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to be 3-0 on top of their division. Bengals being 0-3, Ravens being 1-2. Who else? The Browns. I think the Browns are like what 0-3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
they're 0-3.
Let
me double check real quick. No, they're 1-2. So the Bengals are the only team that's 0-3. So the Browns and the Ravens are tied 1-2, and then the Steelers are 3-0. So that in and of itself is putting them in a great spot for the division. All right. So Justin Fields is playing well. I think really Justin Fields is the highlight, from this game because given the fact that he got the win, he didn't do anything to screw anything up or lose the game for themselves. Yeah, he had that interception, but they still came out with the win. So I mean, hats off to the Steelers right now, man. They're looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, they are looking good.
Hmm.
And yeah, and the other teams in their division are definitely struggling. So they're definitely maybe 50% ahead of everybody in their league right now.
Hmm.
Um, but definitely, yeah, Justin Fields, yeah, he definitely played a decent game,
Hmm.
good game, if I should say. He did throw one pick, but other mistakes, weren't made, and
Hmm.
that's what kind of carried the team. They didn't do any big plays.
Hmm.
All their plays were kind of, here and there, pacing themselves down the field,
Hmm.
um, and knowing what they wanted to do. So, yeah, it was they Steelers are definitely on their way to a good season.
Hmm.
Um, Looking forward, who does Pittsburgh have next?
I got you right now. So they have the Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, Jets, Giants, Commanders. Bro, this is an easy ass schedule.
That schedule is crazy easy. Wow. I thought we had it easy.
And then so their first divisional game isn't. I mean, well, I give the Jets. Jets is going to be somewhat difficult. Uh, Raiders. It's hard to say with the Raiders. It depends on how they come out. Cowboys. Um, that's going to be a tough game, more so for the Cowboys. But I don't think it's something that's that they're just going to be able to just sweep under the rug. Like Colts too. I think Colts is physical, bro. I think their defense can be sneaky good. If you're not if you're not paying attention or if you in the film room.
Yeah, and Colts definitely have a decent offense with Jonathan Taylor in the
Yeah,
backfield.
yeah, nah, for sure. So I mean, their schedule is relatively easy outside of their outside of their divisional games. But I mean, come on, bro. We talk. All right, they got the Chiefs, near the end of the season, Ravens. So I think it gets a lot tougher. Really, their first half of the season is where they're easy, where things are easiest, right? Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, Jets, Giants, Commanders, Ravens for the first time on the 17th of November. Browns, Bengals, Browns again, Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, and then Bengals. So really, it's just that second half where
Yeah. But
a
keep in
lot of
mind
that.
these teams have been making mistakes and they have been um, you know, not being the team that they were once before.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we're only in week 3. You still got to make some adjustments. Everybody still has time, really,
Mm-hmm.
except for the 0-3 teams. Those teams are really going to have to change.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Really going to have, yeah,
They choke him. They choke him for
yeah.
they choke him for life, bro.
Yeah, the 0-3 teams are definitely going to have to find something out quick. But for the teams that only have maybe lost 1 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
there's still a chance to switch up the offense or switch up the defense.
Yeah.
Take a chance on that guy that makes the plays and things like that in
Mm-hmm.
practice. Try out newer guys if guys aren't proven who they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make those necessary adjustments to win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it's definitely going to be some interesting weekends. I feel like we had upset weekend already, but I feel like this season we're going to have at least, I would say, about 3 more upset weekends
Mm-hmm.
where it's going to be some big games where we're thinking it's the team has got it all is going to win, and there's going to be some teams that show up and people that show up this year. I feel like with all the injuries and things like that, This is just time for players to show up and show who they are.
Hmm. Okay, okay. All right then. Let's move on to my team. Let's move on to the
Ah,
Giants real quick. Even though
got they
they
got their first win, right?
yeah, your boy. I'm gonna keep it a stack though. I mean, it was a good win. I'm not gonna take that away. Because at the end of the day, you still gotta get out there on the field and produce uh and beat your man. But the Giants as a whole and as an organization and where they're headed, I'm still not convinced, bro. I mean, the game was won against a Browns team that,
With a struggling Deshaun Watson.
yeah, that's struggling to find, their offensive consistency or their offensive consistency since they even brought in Deshaun Watson, right? Like, the, let me pull up those stats real quick before I even get into that.
They're definitely trying to find themselves. Because the Browns, I feel like, were more of a contender about,
Well, they were looked at as a contender, and that was mainly because of their defense and you know whether their offense was going to finally start to pick up. Now, to be fair, right, to Deshaun Watson, I think he had a better game than he did in the past. But that sort of player that even what we saw on Sunday wasn't the guy that they need. Like they need right? They need him to be that Houston Texans guy. And I think a lot of that falls on, Kevin Stefanski, bro. Like, when Deshaun Watson was playing in Houston Texans, like he played a very similar offense to what he had ran in Clemson. So I don't think the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, is playing to, playing to Deshaun Watson's abilities, playing to his strengths. So, you can see in a lot of stints that, he feels uncomfortable. He's holding on to the ball for too long. He's not getting it to his guys. Uh, some say that he doesn't really have the ability to read defenses at a extemporaneously, right? So he's definitely struggling in that, right? And given the fact that Nick Chubb is still out for a good portion of the season, takes away from that backfield because really the Browns offense, their strength was never their passing game. Their strength was always their rushing game with Nick Chubb leading the curve.
that is true.
Jerome Ford, he's a good back, but he's not your primary back, right? So I mean, I think Amari Cooper is a number one. Like he's capable. He's definitely capable of being a number one receiver. We've seen it before. He's a tremendous route runner. But really, in the highlight of this game and what I took from it, at least as pertains to my team, right? Like Malik Neighbors is that guy, bro.
Malik
Malik,
Neighbors is that guy, and he is starting to show it more and more every game.
absolutely, right?
You're even starting to see it in the in the smack talking, him getting into it with the other cornerbacks and things
Mhm,
like that. He's
mhm,
getting into it, and he's finding himself more and
mhm.
more every game.
Yes,
And
sir.
he's definitely going to be a weapon um, if you guys improve the quarterback position.
I mean, nah. Because here's the way I look at it, right? Um, he's going to be a Pro Bowler simply
Yes,
based off the
definitely.
fact that he's getting targets, right?
Sorry
Like
to cut you off. Are we going for rookie of the year?
oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He already has like over 20 receptions, and it's just week 3 going against week 4, and
Now,
he's been the primary reason for offensive productivity on that side of the field. Now, I
now,
think
now,
mm,
now, you have to also consider Xavier Worthy, who has also been outstanding for the Chiefs.
I'm not in the same aspect that I would with Malik Neighbors because we're talking about receptions, we're talking about yards, and we're talking about touchdowns. Malik Neighbors has more receptions, yards, and touchdowns than Xavier Worthy right now.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me double check on that. But I'm 100. I'm like 90% sure. But don't get me wrong though. I think Xavier Worthy is is.
He's a baller. He is definitely a baller.
Let me see. Hold on. Where is it?
But I feel like they put Xavier Worthy in the right routes. for his skill to show better.
Let me see. Let me show you. Where easy stats right here, ESPN. So right now he has, yeah, only only 81 receiving yards and one touchdown and 11 6 receptions.
Hmm.
So in that game alone, he had 17 yards and two receptions, and he had no touchdowns. Malik Neighbors had two. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like it's not in this sense, right? Like we're not talking about team performances, because if it was team performance, yeah, like come on now, Xavier Worthy and the Chiefs are obviously going to have that advantage over the New York Giants in this, right? But this I've seen his playbook all before, right? Like even with Odell Beckham Jr. when he was on the Giants, and we had like the worst passing defense in the entire league. This was still when Eli Manning was still playing on the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Eli was feeding Odell, bro,
All day.
feeding him. So in this situation, when you don't have a reliable rushing game, right? Um, when your quarterback is still into question, you paid him quarterback money, right? You got to throw the ball. You got to feed your guy. You drafted this guy. You got to get something out of him. See, what he could do. Now, there was a game last week. I forgot who he played against. It was against the Commanders when he had that fourth down play and he missed that catch on fourth down. I thought that was when the ball was dropped for this game, right? So, but I think he came back this week and showed, you know, how he can how he can bounce back. So really, what the thing about what my Giants is that yes, it was a good win, but I'm still not really convinced on Daniel Jones. I think um, the Browns started to pick up late into this game. They started to come back late. And then even with that, the Giants still were giving them opportunities to get back within this game. Like as you can see, like with the
That's
score.
true. That's true. I was looking and I'm like, the Giants have the chance to seal the deal, and they're almost messing it up.
Yeah. You feel me? Oh my God. So when we were up, I think it was like 21-13. When we were up 21-13, I think we even missed a field goal.
Yeah, I did.
And then they got down. They kicked the field goal to bring them within one score. So all they needed was one score. They had another drive. Our defense pulled through. Our defense did give the offense a lot of opportunities to capitalize. So our defense, that's one thing I could say about our Giants defense. Has been relatively good in a lot of spots, but I think with a mixture of some offensive consistency, being able to drive the ball down the field, taking more time out of the possession, so that it could give the defense some rest. Right, that's just going to help the Giants even more. So, I mean, I'm going to give Daniel Jones slack this week because they got the dub. But outside of that, bro, there's still a lot more to assess. And then, when these divisional games start to pick up, because, the Giants in the past couple years or so, we failed against the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like we have a losing record against the Dallas Cowboys. So I want to see how Daniel Jones plays against these divisional games before I can even say, where this team is headed.
Okay.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's get into some other things. Let's talk about the game last night. 1 second.
Lawndale got 107.
Lawndale.
Yeah.
Who's? Oh! I hear what
Yeah,
you.
off topic. Very off topic.
Gosh, yeah. Well, got to stream later, bro. I'll meet you back.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna see you in a bit, bro. I'm gonna come back.
Right.
Hey, so all right. Yesterday, Washington Commanders played against the Bengals. Bengals are now 0-3 now heading into this 2024 season. Definitely in a tough spot. And then Jayden Daniels, uh, looked great in this game. Um, the Commanders were obviously the underdogs. I believe they were a 4 to 5 point spread in this game. And the thing about it is, too, in that game, like Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, I mean, they, played well according to the numbers, but, they didn't come out with the win. So how do you look at this? How do you look at the Bengals situation right now? And then after that, how do you look at the Commanders emerging?
Um, did Joe Mixon play?
No, he's on the Texans, bro, and he didn't.
Oh,
He didn't
right.
play.
He's not even on there no more.
Yeah, he's
Who's
he's
the
on the
Who's the
Texans.
Bengals running back right now? Let me see.
Zach Moss.
Zach Moss.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, man. I have no idea who that guy is. Let's see. Zach Moss.
I think it was on the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken.
He was the Raiders running back.
Yeah, I believe so. Pull this up. Pull up their numbers yesterday. So my thing, unless you still gonna respond first.
No, go ahead.
So my thing about it is I think this game has a lot more to do with how Jayden Daniels play rather than the Bengals. Even though the Bengals being 0-3 is a big story, but the Washington Commanders being 2-1 in tying for lead in the division obviously puts them in a very great spot. And obviously we're gonna have more of an assessment of the Washington Commanders and Jayden Daniels moving forward. Me, I'm about those division games, bro. But he looks so poised.
Those are things that
He
matter.
looks he looks so poised. Like he looks like a professional QB, right? Like he's making like yesterday, like that Bengals defense, that intensity, that animosity that they had against the Chiefs, that wasn't there for this game, bro.
Yeah.
That was not there for this game, And then so I was talking to my homeboy yesterday, and I was like, a lot of people that took the Bengals money line on this game, everybody lost a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Because going into week 3, you would think the Bengals, in the past couple of seasons alone, every time the Bengals went to the playoff, they started out 0-2. So they started out in this position, right? But in this
Right.
scenario, I don't think, you could start off the season continuously like that and think that you still have a chance to win. Now, I know that's not their mentality. But at the end of the day, you don't want to be down in your division. You know what I'm saying? Considering how that division is tough as is, and then you have a team like the Steelers, which is a physical team. Ravens, right? They're still looked at as a Super Bowl contender. So when things get colder and things start to unravel, we're going to start to see which teams actually stand above the rest. But Jayden Daniels, coming from LSU, watching this guy play at LSU and then becoming a Heisman Trophy winner, like you saw the decision making, the skill, the decisiveness, um, and the playmaking, right? But now, like given how he's been playing now, like he already looks like a full-fledged game manager, right? Like he looks comfortable in there. He only missed 2 passes in that entire game, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and he had 2 touchdowns on the air, a touchdown on the ground, right? All 3 running backs, or both running backs scored in that game, right? It wasn't really a defensive game, but I mean, hey, at the end of the day, they came out with the win, 38-33. So
Yeah.
I can say for sure that I'm looking forward to Jayden Daniels' progression and how he's going to look throughout the season, and to see where he lines up against other QBs within the NFC East.
Yeah, the Commanders definitely a team that looks good.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm sold on them though.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm sold on them. I think it's still early for Jayden Daniels. I think this is his first year. I
Mhm.
feel like this happens to all rookie quarterbacks. Even if you're an inch of good, or got a little bit of skill to you, I feel like that first season, the NFL just got to get used to you. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
um, and some teams and some players pick up getting used to you faster than others. So they may relay the message and kind of already plan for you. So we who the Redskins got next? I mean, who the Commanders got next?
I got you right now. So they have Cardinals, Browns, Ravens, Panthers.
Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals is definitely going to be a good game for them, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because Cardinals are what 2-1.
Yes.
Yeah, they're 2-1.
No, they're 1-2.
Oh, they're 1-2. They just
Mm-hmm.
lost this weekend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They just lost to the Lions. I forgot who they lost to prior. They lost to the Bills. Oh, the Bills the first week.
Right, and they beat the Rams.
Yeah, they blew the Rams out.
Yeah, beat the Rams out. So I'm considering that Arizona's going to find themselves, um, and it's going to be a tough game for Commanders. And I wouldn't even say even if they win that game that I'm sold.
Mm.
Even if they win the Browns game, I wouldn't be sold. They would have to beat a top competitor team in order to say that okay, this guy is the real deal.
What you mean? The Bengals aren't a top competitor team?
Who do they have on defense?
I think
And you
there's.
see, and you see the score. The score was high scoring game. So
Mm-hmm.
both defenses weren't doing their job,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it just so happens that Jayden Daniels had the last score.
Mm-hmm.
At the ball last, and that's
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty much what happened.
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah, I'm not sold. I believe the Chiefs are a good team, but they didn't play a good game.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. So here's the thing, right? So the Bengals are actually like third in. Whoa. Hold on. Let me double check. Yeah. So the Bengals. Is this? Oh, I'm tripping. This is offense. So the Bengals are like third in passing, bro, when it comes to defense. So when it comes to uh, so they're third in the league in passing, and then they're third in the league in rushing. And then we got like a stint of that, right? Um, during the Chiefs game. I think their best defensive performance was during the Chiefs game. And even though the Chiefs were able to, come out with that win, I think it was still a very competitive game on both ends of the ball. As far as your conviction on you not being convinced on Jayden Daniels, um, I wouldn't go as far as to say that neither. Where I'm coming from is that I like what I'm seeing. I like his decision making. Um, and given his athleticism and the players around him, I think they have, they're really molding into something that can really elevate here really relatively quickly. Like Brian Robinson, I think he's not a scrub. He's a good player. Same with Terry McLaurin. I think they definitely have offensive weapons on the offensive side of the ball. I think their defense is the one that could use the most improvement. I think that's what's going to be highlighted in this upcoming draft. After this season. So with the Commanders, I mean, it's the ceiling, right? Like I think with the Commanders, I don't think a lot of people really even had them in the leader of the division, or even in competition for the division. But it is way too early to really have any of these conversations about where the Commanders are moving forward. But I think we can at least start to assess Jayden Daniels early enough and to see how he's going to be unraveling. Now where I disagree with you, right, is when you said that you're not convinced on these teams. Um, you're not convinced if even if they have like those wins against those teams, right? Now, let me pull this up. Now with the Cardinals, right? If they beat the Cardinals and Browns, they're already 4-1, right? Like that's well above 500. So that loss against the Buccaneers was really like the only loss on their record thus far. If they come out of these next two games with a W, the Ravens, obviously, I think they lose that game. With Jayden McDaniels, Ravens defense hasn't been necessarily as polished as we've seen before, but as the season progresses, I think they're going to spruce things back up and get the ball rolling. But I think the Ravens offense is going to get kicking, especially since I think they play relatively the same type of ball on the offensive side of the ball. And then Lamar Jackson, I think he's become more of an experienced NFL QB. Not to say that he hasn't, but I think he's Lamar Jackson. He's not going to be blowing you away with 300-yard passing games, but he's going to blow you away with efficiency. Same with decision making, focused on getting the first down. You know what I'm saying? Staying in the game, and then just giving his team a shot. So if they get these next two games, bro, it would be hard for me to say that Jayden Daniels is not it. You know what I'm saying? So because if he were to start off 4-1, that would already put him in a better position than where CJ Stroud was last year. Because I believe they started out 0-2 last year, starting off in the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, we gonna wait to see though, man. But finally, these rookie QBs, they finally starting to get their passing yards. I mean, their TDs out there. Caleb Williams had a passing TD. Jayden Daniels finally had his. Yeah. So I mean, we're starting to see. How this thing, how this really, how this is looking like now. But I'm with you. I'm not gonna say they're contenders for the division, but if they win these next two games, bro, it's gonna be hard to say they are.
They'll definitely be in a good position.
Yeah, and not to mention though too, on the offensive side, they're fifth in rushing yards in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
So,
but like I said, they will be in a good position. Mm-hmm. But come on, man, we've seen even teams go undefeated, and then right after that, undefeated streak go on a 6-week loss. So
yeah,
it's definitely tough, and it's definitely early. So,
I got you. Got these. Put this up right here. Damn, Ravens are the number one offense in the league right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but that's largely part of like that's largely part of like rushing with the combination of rushing and passing though. Because if you organize their passing is like you see. Yeah, I mean they're still top 10, relatively top 10. All right, so let's move on to this, bro. Because I feel like this game or this is going to start shaping into its own, and I think that we should be paying a lot of attention to it. Is the Buffalo Bills, bro. Now, I know I mentioned the Chiefs were the best one of the best football teams in the league, but I can't say that with a lot of conviction due to how the Buffalo Bills have been looking in these first 3 weeks without, having Stephon Diggs. A lot of question was coming into play with Josh Allen, being a franchise QB, giving him all this credit, saying that, he's not that guy. He hasn't won anything. I'm not one of those people that trend that line if I see productivity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see that Josh Allen is a franchise QB. Like, you would have to be on crack to say that Josh Allen isn't an NFL franchise QB. Like he is that guy. The only thing is just getting over that hump. Obviously, Josh Allen did not win a Super Bowl, during his rookie season or his rookie contract. So, they have to move their money around. They have to move their money around a lot, which is obviously they still have to focus on the defensive side of the ball. Uh, they still have to be able to provide weapons for Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is so versatile and so impactful, and he makes so many plays. He's just so effective. He's almost like an efficient basketball player on a football field, right? He does everything. He passes, he runs, right, and he can see the field.
Right.
Obviously, he takes a lot of
All
risk,
right, hold on.
but
Hold on, Pat. I gotta. Sorry to cut you off. I'm gonna have to be right back.
I got you. But yeah, so obviously he takes a lot of risk, but Josh Allen by far is the best QB in the NFL right now. As far as his numbers, how he's looked, how he's been playing, how the Buffalo Bills have been playing, like it's no doubt that he's like the favorite right now. So let me go back.
I'll be right back.
Huh?
I'll be right back.
I got you.
All right.
Back.
I'm back.
All right. All right. But yeah, bro, I have Josh Allen as my early NFL MVP favorite, bro. Really, just to sum that up. So let me see. Hold on. Does your page? Trying to look at some things that I could point out. So check this, right? I gotta log in on this browser. But basically, I'm looking at this list, right? With the Athletic, they have like a week 4 QB ranking. So right now they've switched Josh Allen. Josh Allen's number one. So this is the Athletics week 4 QB rankings. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, and Dak Prescott. Those are the 10.
Top 10.
Yeah. According to the Athletic.
Hopefully Justin can get healthy.
So
Stay in that top 10.
So, Allen, he's playing considerably better. He's thrown less interceptions. He has no interceptions thus far.
Not at all,
Yeah,
actually.
he has no interceptions. He has 7 touchdown passes, which I believe puts him second in the league.
And he's completed 75 of his passes too.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, he's already at 634 yards.
Mm-hmm. So that it really with the Bills right now, bro, I have it as the Josh Allen show. Like
Yeah.
for real. Like when it comes to how the Bills have been looking, how what to expect from them. Where are they headed? Because it really, well, I'll say this. The most important game for the Buffalo Bills on their schedule are the Jets. The Jets are really the biggest team that they have to be looking at according to their schedule. I mean, I'm not saying the Jets are going to win that game, but obviously the fact that this is a divisional game, right? There's going to be a lot of expectations with this game. It's going to be marketed like hell. Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're going to build up that whole narrative and that whole storyline. Jets defense has been relatively well on in these first couple weeks. They didn't really play uh their best against the 49ers, but I mean Aaron Rodgers has never played his best against the 49ers. So, that's just a constant football reminder that Aaron Rodgers just
Yeah.
just has shit games against this team. But like the reason why I focused on that, not only because it's a divisional game, right? But Jets have their own aspirations also. Like there's a lot to look forward to as a Jets fan. Not
Yeah.
me as a Jets fan, but just any Jets fan. Like where they have so much expectation. They finally have a franchise QB. They have all the assets, all the weapons. Garrett Wilson, Bryce Hall, Braylon Allen. They even got some of his targets, Alan Ozard. So it's not even really like the pressure. I'm not bringing this up, to highlight the pressure for the Bills because I know the Bills at the end of the day, they've beaten majority of the teams within their division. Like it's not even really close from keeping
Right.
it stats with you, but it has much more to do with how the Jets are going to approach this situation. And the Bills are just going to simply, they're simply just going to have to respond to whatever the Jets are kicking back at them.
Yeah.
But regardless, Jets, they still got that secondary, they still got dogs up front. So I think, having Aaron Rodgers just puts them in a better position. And I think this just makes this divisional game, a lot more competitive. So that's the reason why I'm really looking forward to that game specifically.
Yeah, that game is definitely going to be a good game. And let's not forget that the Bills do have James Cook, and his ground game recently has been real good. I've been watching. He's got 188 yards on 41 carries. He gets about 4.6 yards per carry.
Mm-hmm.
Already scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely becoming a key piece for that offense as well. And
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of their run game replacement for Diggs, which
Mm-hmm.
they can't pass to anybody just like they did Diggs like that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, James Cook is definitely going to be a asset in that Jets game as well too. So the Jets defensive line is definitely going to have to step up.
Mm-hmm. Nah, for sure. So because I brought up NFL MVPs, like who do you have as your favorite at this moment?
Mm. MVP so far.
I don't see how you even think it's anybody else.
Yeah, I think it's Allen so far, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Allen. Allen is the well-rounded player.
Mm-hmm. So let me check this. All right, so we gonna leave that, bro. Yo, you heard Brett Favre came out and said he has Parkinson's? Not laughing at that, but it was just random. That's why, like today, yeah, he just came out and was like, "Yeah, I got Parkinson's."
Well, he lived. He played that hard nosed football back when these little penalties they call nowadays.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure um, he'll be all right, and he has top doctors. He's Brett Favre. Like, come on now, he's like close to Tom Brady.
Mm.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I would say favorite wise.
Wait, say that again. Favorite what?
I'm just saying like favored wise. People like Brett
I
Favre.
got you. I got you. Yeah, like the pop culture side of things, like
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
popularity, influence.
Yeah, exactly. People like Brett.
I got you. I got you. I mean, there's a lot of people that also hate that motherfucker. especially what he did when
Oh, he did do something, huh? What did he do? He
he
like
was no, because remember this
took some
this so
money
this
for
is
his daughter, something.
yeah, it was in Mississippi where he had gotten I think it was like either unemployment money or welfare money.
Hmm.
So the politician like tapped into the welfare, gave it to him, so that he can build like a tennis court for his daughter. And there was even a phone call where he was like, "Yo, is this gonna be traced back to me?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Bro, but
Taking
let's
other people's money to build a tennis court.
hey man, come on now. You know how this goes.
That's just as bad as the person getting those college students, those college athletes into college with the fake resumes.
Whoa, they were doing that?
You remember that?
Nah.
Yeah, it was a whole documentary on that.
What college kid has fake
No, no,
resume?
no, no. They were getting athletes into colleges, into like top colleges.
Mm,
Well, regular people into top colleges, but saying, lying on their resumes and lying on their grades and things like that and
mm,
things that they can do. I forgot what it was called.
mm. Damn. You know what though? That's damn. Why did I think of that?
Yeah,
All right,
they had people behind them.
let's go into this, bro. The Cowboys, or should I say the Cowgirls?
Right.
Because they going through a tough time right now, bro.
Good,
They're winning
good
two.
form.
Hmm?
Good form.
He said, "Go for
I
it."
said good form. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Funny thing is, I had them winning the division too, sadly, and I'm glad I'm eating my words on this. But dog, well, you get into this first. What do you take from how the Cowboys look and how they played in that recent game? If you need some stats, let me know.
Um, horrible, horrible, horrible. They weren't together as a team. And you could definitely see that from the comments made by CD.
Mm,
And when your receiver is coming at you as a quarterback or any offensive lineman, that's when you have a problem. That's when you know that things are off track and that there's some things that have to be
yeah,
changed.
yeah,
They
because
just simply,
him and
huh?
CD Lamb were going back at it in that game.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like if you're going to that point, in a game, then you have a lot of things that you need to take care of before. But I think it was really what because I'm trying to see because CD wanted the ball basically. He wanted
Yeah,
Dak to throw him the ball, and
yeah.
Dak wasn't doing his job. And he just wanted him because he kept saying that the guy couldn't guard him, and he wanted the ball in his hands.
Hmm. So one second, I got you with that clip right here, my guy. We got to pop that right here. Feel me?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting halftime, challenging the mental toughness. And
I mean, that
you
man
talk about the frustration.
dripped up, rich as hell,
Yeah, it's
mad
going
as
to be
hell.
really interesting halftime, challenging the mental toughness. And you
That man
talk
Lamb is
about the
crying in the
frustration.
Lamborghini right now, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this, bro. Cowboys are in effing trouble, dog. They are in trouble. Um, mainly, mainly because of their defense. Don't even really pay attention to uh the offensive side of things, because really, Dak is great at giving garbage stat numbers. Putting up, having his numbers look good at the end of the game. Like to kind of make up for it and say, I tried to get this team back. At the end of
Right.
the day, bro, it's not Dak's fault.
It's all a
Dak,
facade.
yeah, Dak. At the end of the day, Dak deserves to get paid. Michael Parsons deserves to get paid. Maybe not the number one defensive backer in the league. I think, like, really considering it now, like looking how the team has looked, especially on the defensive side of the ball, I think now it's starting to unravel that Michael Parsons is the ones that might need to take, somewhat of a pay cut in this situation because this defense looks putrid, bro. Putrid, horrible.
And at the same time, though, he is a good player. He can't do it all by himself.
Oh, 100%. But even in that game, bro.
But I definitely know what you mean because he's not typically a game wrecker like how TJ Watt would be for a Steelers defense who doesn't really have many people, as far as highlight players.
Well, it's because you know what? It's because when for somebody like TJ Watt, right? He can stop the pass and the run. Right. Michael Parsons with the Cowboys, right? Like they've struggled. They've struggled with the run for the past couple years, right? And then with Dan Quinn not being not being the DC anymore, not being the defensive coordinator, you can see the defense taking a huge hit in this game, bro. You know what I mean? And then like let me recap on some of the team stats in this game. Even though it's kind of like inflated, due to the fact that the Cowboys were trying to get back in late into this game because Dak had 379 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then even a rushing touchdown on the ground. So if you weren't watching this game, you would have been like, man, like Cowboys were close. You know what I'm saying? But it was too little, too late. All that urgency should have picked up early on into the game. Now remember, who had the best performance in that game?
CD, or actually, who?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry. He had 25 carries for 151 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Mind you, the Cowboys had the opportunity to get Derrick Henry. They had the opportunity to get him.
Yeah, that's you know who that's on though.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, come on, dog. He gets all the blame. He gets all the blame. So the
NFL isn't going to do anything about Jerry Jones.
They don't have to. They don't have to do anything because for one, it's his team. He's not doing. Look, understand. Like Jerry Jones is not doing anything wrong for the NFL to step in and be like, "Look, motherfucker, you suck. Let somebody do." You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to do that. Because this is strictly football. This is strictly football with Jerry Jones. So everything that we see pertaining to the Cowboys and how they look, how they played in recent weeks, this is strictly due to the fact that how
Jerry Jones wants to run the team.
Stephen Jones, how they constructed this team. So Dak had over 100 yards on Dak Prescott, right? And
how many interceptions? Because I know in the season they have 2 interceptions.
Oh, Dak?
Yeah.
Let me check. He has. Yeah, he has 2.
2 interceptions, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. So even then, really, where they took, and funny enough as that is, look at this, bro. Look at this right here. Look at the rushing yards. Look at the rushing yards in this game, bro. 274 rushing yards compared to 51 of the Cowboys rushing yards.
Yeah.
The time of possession. Look. Peep this too. Ravens even had 60 more penalty yards in that game. They doubled the penalties in that game. They doubled it. But Ravens just had more time of possession, more total yards, right? More rushing yards, right? They were more efficient through the air. They had more yards per pass through the air. They sacked Dak Prescott 3 times. They didn't sack Lamar Jackson in that game
at all.
You get what I'm saying? So, and then even with that, the Cowboys only managed to get 2 more first downs in that game. So those 2 first downs were probably like later down the stretch when the game was still out of stretch. And then I think the Cowboys, they did miss an opportunity to bring them. I think they were down 10, and then they needed to score one more time. That would have put them in. That would have put them within one score. Um, but then they missed that opportunity. So it's really those opportunities that puts the Cowboys in the best position to win. That's is where they lack. Like I'm gonna bring up some stuff as it pertains to the Cowboys defense. So the Cowboys defense are 28th in total defense, allowing 372 yards per game. Last in rush defense, giving 185 yards per game, and ranked 30th in rushing yards per game.
Mm.
Oh, my fault. Their defense, my fault. Their defense allows
Where are you
145
looking at?
rushing yards, and their offense only rushes for 73 yards per game. So they're 30th in offensive rushing, and then they're dead last in allowing rushing yards per game. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when you're playing a team like the Eagles, Commanders, I mean, can you really say that's going to put them in a good spot? Absolutely not, bro. When you're allowing teams to run the ball on you, bro, you're gonna have a long day.
A long day, and that defense is gonna get tired.
You're gonna have a very long day, bro. So I don't know what to say about the Cowboys. I mean, they're just gonna have to pick things up. Let me check out their schedule for the next following week. So they got the Giants. You know, they're known for beating the Giants, but I'm a pull through. I'm a pull through for my Giants on this one. Feel me? I
Stay
think
optimistic.
yeah, I'm gonna stay optimistic on this one. I hope Devin Singletary, for all it's worth, that rushing attack will have a better game. Will have a better game this time around. I think they rushed relatively well in the last game against the Browns. But I think they're gonna need a lot more in this game. Malik Neighbors, I don't know how Malik Neighbors is gonna play. I think they're gonna really key up on him. But lo and behold, like people like Trayvon Diggs, he's a ball hawk. So in Daniel Jones is known for throwing those Brett Favre-ish interceptions.
Yeah.
Making those Brett Favre-ish mistakes. So I don't see Cowboys. To be honest with you, bro, I don't even really see the Cowboys as a Super Bowl contender this season. I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender, and and I'm not going to go as far as to say they don't make the playoffs just yet, because I'm still going to hold on to the fact that the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, and hold my conviction in that, right? But I don't even see that, bro. I don't really even see that.
Yeah, not if they keep playing the way that they playing, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dak is doing his job, but yeah, something with the team, man. They got to get it together. Duke Clark only had 5 yards. Ezekiel only had 6.
They was talking about the fantasy waiver wire for Ezekiel Elliott, and it was like, yo, man, you might as well just drop, buddy.
Right. Hey,
you might as well just let him go, give up.
Hey, off topic, but I told you that I had told you recently that a receiver had got released from his team. It was Jalen Reagor from the Patriots.
Yeah, but he was on the Eagles, and he wasn't that great.
Yeah. Chargers picked him up.
Oh, they just picked him up?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they get something out of him.
Something. We need anything on that field, man. We
you do, because
we need game makers. I mean, game players.
Because here's the thing. Here's the thing with y'all, as a defense or as an offense, you guys are. Let me see, when it comes to, what is this based off of? Completion percentage. So when it comes to yards, you guys are second to last in the entire league when it comes to passing yards. When it comes to passing touchdowns, you guys are still in the top pack, but I feel like you guys got to rack up some more yards through the air with Herbert. Being second and last in passing is just like unacceptable, especially with a QB like Justin Herbert. And given the fact that he was hurt, like put it like this, right? Like Justin Herbert, you can say is in the same position that Josh Allen is this year, right? He got paid. You have a new set of receivers. This is an opportunity where you have to, in a way, prove your worth, show your worth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand the scheme that Jim Harbaugh is running with this offense, and over time is going to develop into what it is. And I personally don't think that it's anything to like worry about, because I think it's gonna unfold more and more over time, especially if they can get more weapons. Because I mean, hey, you just told me about this Jalen Rager situation, so they know where they lack and they know what they need, right? Jim Harbaugh is a very intelligent head coach. Once he got there, he understood. Hey, I want to beef up my defense. I want to keep the star players on my defense. I want to run the ball, which is ultimately going to protect the quarterback, right? And then I want to be efficient and not turn the ball over, take care of the football. Now, that's what Justin Herbert has done. But moving forward, let's say if it's later in the stretch, later down the season, a playoff game, you cannot play this way and think that you're going to beat a team like the Chiefs.
No, not at all.
You know what I'm saying? It's transcending QB play that's going to take you over the hump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like over time that's going to start to unravel itself. The injury with Justin Herbert, has pushed them back a little bit. But over time, man, I think the Chargers are gonna, they're fine. I think they're fine. If not this season, definitely next season. But
Yeah.
what
And
I'm saying?
I think we can still finish off the season good, man. I think
Oh
we
yeah.
can still finish off the season good. I think we can still make it, if not to wild card.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I mean, that's your only option.
Right. And yeah, like I was telling you earlier. Yeah, this week I personally think they should go ahead and play Heineke. Which is wild to say in the Chiefs game. Start Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
Let him play this game, fill it out, and let him feel a real team, actually.
Mm-hmm.
That you got to remember, the Chiefs is a Super Bowl team. So even if Heineke loses this game, he still gets the experience needed for when we do need you to step up maybe in the game where we need to sit Justin out for a few plays, and we do feel protected when we put you in. So I say throw him in this game, let Taylor Heineke feel the offense, let him get a feel for the field and, get a feel for the game again, because he's got talent. Taylor Heineke has gotten talent. He just has to get his head back in the game. He took those 2 sacks. I personally think he could have stepped up, of course, and moved out the way. But maybe it was fresh for him and, he definitely probably didn't expect to go into that game. But definitely, yeah, I think Chargers should start Heineke this game. Hey, if we come out with a win, so be it. But, I'm expecting a loss. I'm expecting going 2-2, going into the bye week. And then, giving Justin 2 weeks back-to-back to rest, giving Slater 2 weeks back-to-back to rest, giving Joe 2 weeks back-to-back to rest. And yeah, we'll be able to get those guys right, go back in the lab and, do what we need to do to get those guys right. We come back out after bye week strong. We come back with a new plan. We come back and completely wipe the Broncos and continue the season on having a good season. I think that's a good plan right there.
I thought it was a good plan, was just sitting out Herbert before this game, so he would be healthy this game. Now this Chiefs game is ruined. But we'll
No,
see.
no, these are the games I like, man, because
Uh,
like I said, this proves who your team is. You know, you
mm,
can't always key in
mm.
on the guys that you know are there to make the plays and going to make the plays. You got to also think about the whole team as a whole. We don't think about the players that doesn't have a big name and
Not with your quarterback though. Your
huh?
quarterback got to be on the field.
I feel that. I feel that. But hey, optimism, and it's a real thing. And I let you know that hey, big things happen in this NFL game. You got to remember these are all still professional players, so
Mhm.
we can still make something happen, man. I would say it's an 80-20 chance, but 20% is good enough for me.
Hey, I guess. But let's tap into this then. We're gonna talk about a team that's not really the favorites in any way, shape, or form, but they're in the same realm as the Cowboys, probably even worse. Honestly, they're in the same realm with the Bengals, but probably worse. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Sunshine. Trevor
Right.
Lawrence, bro. What's going on with man? What's going on with bro, man? He going through it.
They gave him the name of that field. They named the field after him, and the stage is too big for him now, man. He feels like he got to win the Super Bowl. So so I don't know. He's just going downhill. But Jacksonville in the past few years, regardless of them having that comeback win on us, Jacksonville in the past few years has not been the team that has been a threat as a contender because they tried it with when they got Trevor Lawrence and they thought he was the guy, but I always said he wasn't the
Hmm. I mean, I can't say that. Um, I can't say that I disagree with you, given the fact that how he's looked recently. I still would like to say that there's hope for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
guy.
Definitely not this season though. But peep this, right? So
They're
I'm
on
gonna,
three.
huh?
They're on three.
Yeah. And I'm gonna read this to I'm gonna read this to you, and you're gonna fill this out. So Jacksonville has lost 8 of 9 games dating to last season, ranks just 30th in points per game, 13.3, and 28th in points allowed per game, 28.3, through 3 games in 2024. According to the Athletics playoff projections, Jacksonville has 20% chance to make the postseason, 14% chance to win the AFC South. Both numbers are about half of the Jaguars' preseason probabilities, 40% and 27%. The team plays the AFC South leading Texans 2-1 in a pivotal Week 4 game. When asked if potential changes, including Jacksonville starters, including Lawrence Peterson, did not clarify. You say everything is on the table. We've got to look at injury, he said tonight. Tonight, we had some guys injured. Could be moved that way. Could be performance. It's all things we have to elevate as we move forward. The Jaguars lost 4 players to injury. Nickelback, Jarian Jones, due to a shoulder injury. Uh, Alucon, he had a foot injury. Anton Harrison, knee injury, and then Gabe Davis with a shoulder injury.
Oh yeah, they're star.
Right. Right. So Lawrence in the 2021 number 1 pick has not won a start since November 26, 2023. Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. On Tuesday, he was 28. He was 28 of 30. He was 21 of 38 for 178 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception through 3 games. He has posted career lows in completion percentage of 52%, down from 65% in last season, and yards of 186.7. He also has been sacked 11% of dropbacks and the 5th highest percentage in the league. Lawrence interception Monday came on an overthrow pass intended for rookie receiver Brian Thomas in the second quarter, which was picked off by DeMar Hamlin.
Right.
The Jaguars traded for Mac Jones, once a first-round pick by the New England Patriots in the offseason to back up Lawrence. Jacksonville's defense allowed touchdowns on Buffalo's first 5 possessions, allowing the Bills to take 34-3 halftime lead that doubled as the largest halftime deficit in Jaguars history. Jacksonville is the only team in the NFL that has not forced a turnover a year after finishing tied for 10th in that category. Asked if Lawrence needs to play marketably better, Peterson said, I need everybody to coach and play better. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah,
It's
man.
going down in Jackson City.
Yeah, man.
That's sunshine over there right now, nigga.
Yeah, it's looking bad over there, bro. It's definitely looking bad. And I don't even know,
Do I
how
smell
they,
fired coaches?
huh?
Do I smell new head coach?
Do they say again?
Do I smell new coach, new administrators?
I don't know if they were willing to jump the gun that quickly. Because remember with Peterson, well, I would say with Peterson, they went to the playoffs. They went to the playoffs with Peterson after Urban Meyer. Disastrous season for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, in last season, they started off decent. Trevor Lawrence got hurt in the middle of the season, and then that's when their losing woes started to really pick up. So I think he did get injured around November. So that last win that was brought up in November was around the time that he had, like, I believe a shoulder injury, right? So the Jacksonville Jaguars, bro. I mean, given the fact that now the Houston Texans, have emerged recently,
Right.
even though that they had a bad week too. Last week against the Vikings, they were looking like poo poo caca in that game, bro. The Houston Texans, unrecognizable. And then we gonna get into that. Topic right soon after this one. But Jacksonville Jaguars, bro. I mean, their defense is shite. Their offense is shite. Like I don't even know how you can, where you could go from here, aside from what Doug Peterson said. Everybody has to just be better. Coaching has to be better. Players have to be better. I mean, yeah,
It sounds
injuries.
like we need to start Mac Jones next week.
Hell no.
Over.
You're not, bro.
Even
You're not getting a better result with Jones. I mean, you might get like some spark on offense just because things are getting fresh. But what does that do for the Jaguars moving forward long term? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because all that does is just demoralize Trevor Lawrence's confidence. And then you just paid him. So what, you're gonna bench him now for Matt Jones, somebody that you traded for a low draft pick, only to bench him after you pay him, even when people were questioning whether he deserves a max QB contract.
Right.
That doesn't look good for the Jaguars, bro. That doesn't look good for the Jaguars at all, right?
Yeah,
So
well, they better figure something out.
they have to. They have to.
If they want to even see a win or something.
So let's go into this now. Last one, at least pertaining to trending topics. So this was one of the games of the week. This was one of the biggest games of the week. Was the Eagles against the Saints. So let me bring this up real quick. Hopefully, let me see.
I'm about to after this, I'm probably gonna have to bounce off.
No, I got you. How soon? Like around 10, 12, 15?
Yeah, like 12, 15.
Okay, I got you. You know what? All right, let's go on my phone. Let me just bring this up. right here. So yeah. So what was your assessment on the Eagles and Saints game? I think that was one of the most competitive games uh, from week 3. So what's your take on this game?
The Eagles and Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Saints is looking like that championship team, man.
Mm.
And
After this week?
they're almost as consistent as the Steelers have been.
Mm.
You know, as far as their consistency on defense and offense.
Mm.
Let's see. So it wasn't so it definitely wasn't a high scoring game.
Mm.
Eagles came out with the win at the last moment. But I think that was strictly on defense. What's his name on the defensive line? We got Jalen Carter. That guy is a wreck, man. He completely wrecked the game.
Mm.
Even Jalen Hurts did get a fumble that game. I think the Eagles, they still got some work to do. They barely got out of that game, and they only won by 3. So that field goal in the I believe they scored a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Mm.
Was the field goal to win it?
No. So what they let me just double check on that score, because I know it was like a late score.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were down 7-12, and then remember, Dallas Goedert had a 61-yard catch across the field.
Yeah.
So I remember that play, because 2 Saints defenders ran into each other, and that opened up the field for Goedert to be able to drive down to the red zone, and then Saquon Barkley sealed the win with
after that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't use that analysis to say that Saints look good, because it was relatively contrast to how they performed the first 2 weeks. Like, they were scoring 40 points in the first 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like compared to, and the thing about it with the Eagles is that the Eagles defensively haven't looked that great. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive side, they did a lot better. I would say they did a lot better trying to get to Derek Carr, as far as trying to provide pressure. But even then, man, it wasn't really like convincing. I see it as an ugly win, but sometimes ugly wins are needed, right? Like, I mean, Eagles, going into this game, Saints, if they had beaten the Eagles, they were definitely going to be one of the best teams in the league. But Saints, I think, I don't think it's anything to worry about, at least on their end. I mean, because they took the lead late in the game. And
they had that block punt on defense too.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, it's just that they were just giving up way too many yards to their tight end. Like, Dallas Goedert had a game, bro. He had like 10 receptions for 170 yards. So minus that 61-yard play, he was still above 100 yards receiving in that game.
Yeah, I see that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Devontae Smith had 7 receptions for 79 yards. So it's just one of those games, I guess, like, both teams knew what was at stake. Both teams were trying to prove themselves and beat a playoff contending team. And then simply in this game, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles just came out on top. And it's a large part to Saquon Barkley, who I will repeatedly say the Giants made foolish decisions to not pay him. But it is what it is, bro. Makes me depressed to even talk about it every time.
Yeah, Derek Carr definitely didn't have a game like he had in the past 2 games, throwing only 142 yards, 5.7 average, and he threw 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Mm-hmm.
QB left with a QB rating of 41.2.
Yeah.
So definitely, They probably were a little bit exposed by the Eagles. Alvin Kamara only had 87 yards for 26 carries.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. They're the only player that had the most yards, Chris Olive, and they're running back. So nobody else is really producing for the Saints.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
game.
Chris Olave.
Yeah, Olave. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say.
Yeah, and then Alvin Kamara, and then even Alvin Kamara, he didn't really even play relatively well. Like Saquon Barkley averaged 8 yards a carry compared to Kamara, who averaged 3 in that game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
And considering, like I said, considering the loss, Saints are a good team.
yeah,
Um, they're a very disciplined team,
Mhm.
and they still might be contenders for this season. I
yeah,
still see it happening. Eagles is not one of those teams that you could just toss around. So
Mhm.
it was a hard fought game, even though they
Mhm.
lost. Um, and yeah, I'm looking at their defense, man, and
Mhm.
these guys are stacked.
Oh, the same.
You got Tyron Matthew, you got
Yeah.
Willie Gay, you got Chase Young, you got Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, man, they're pretty stacked, and
No, they have a good defense. Even from last year, they've had a good defense.
yeah,
So it was so for the Saints, it was really just polishing their offense, getting that back underway because they've had the weapons.
Derek Carr.
Olave, yeah, Olave's a weapon. Who else? Rashid. I forgot how to say his name. Yeah, Rashid Shaheed. He didn't have a great game, so that was noticeably different. Like usually when the Saints are playing particularly well on the offensive side of the ball, it's a combination of everybody involved, right? So bad loss for the Saints, great win for the Eagles. That's how I look at it.
Yeah,
But I mean, we can talk about all the intricate things as far as Jalen Hurts' play, and we can assess that later on. But to finish things off, because I feel like we gotta get this out of the way before we even um before we conclude things. Let's do a week 4 prediction.
okay,
Let's do a week 4 prediction. So we're gonna start off at the top, and then we're gonna run it down, and then you can give a quick synopsis, and then we'll finish things off from there. So, Saints and Falcons, tough game. Falcons have been playing well, particularly on the defensive end. Saints, it's going to be in Atlanta. Who you got in this game?
I got Saints. Going into this game, man. I think they're gonna clean up their act. I think the Falcons are definitely not contenders; those are pretenders over there. And I think that that the Saints are going to get their offense together and pull through that game.
Mm.
I'm going. I'm going. They win by at least a touchdown.
A touchdown?
Yeah, touchdown.
Okay. I got the Saints too. Not a shocker. The reason being, I think the Saints are gonna try to bounce back, and offensively, I think they just have a lot more weapons and the versatility on the offensive side to kind of throw at the Falcons. Now, the Falcons defense is tough. It is like Falcons are a tough team. Like watching them play, especially how they played against the Eagles, and even how they played against the Chiefs. Like they're no pushover, they're no slacks. So they're no slackers. So those are one of those games we're going to be paying attention to, especially since it's a divisional game. All right, so Eagles and Buccaneers. Who you got?
Eagles, easy.
Eagles?
Nah, actually, that's gonna be a tough one.
Eagles?
That's gonna be a tough one. You're right, because the Bucks definitely have been playing good. So I think that it's gonna be a tough one. I couldn't say on that one, but I'm going with the Eagles.
Oh yeah, I'm going with the Bucks in this one. Bucks had a tough loss. I think this game could probably be within 3. But we still have to look out for those Buccaneers receivers, and Eagles passing offense or passing defense isn't as polished as it used to be. Like like give or take, yeah. Derek Carr and the Saints offense didn't have a great game. They came out to play in that game, but I think with the Buccaneers, with the combination of Godwin and Mike Evans, and even with Rashad White catching out of the backfield, I think you know you could have a lot on your hands if you're not if you don't game plan correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So next game, Steelers and Colts. Who got in that game?
As much as I hate to say it, the Steelers.
Fine. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one though too. I'm gonna go with the momentum. Colts. They've been showing some stints here and there, but I'm gonna go with the Steelers too. Jaguars, Texans.
Texans.
Texans. Yeah,
Texans.
I'm taking Texas too.
Shout on them boys. They about to have a field day on them.
Rams and Bears.
Rams.
Rams. Okay.
Bears have been struggling ever since their first game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Rams too. Bengals and Panthers.
Bengals and Panthers.
Now remember, Andy Dalton is playing them now, and that's their former team.
Right. It's gonna be tough, but I think Cincinnati will get their act together.
Okay. So you think they get their first dub this week?
Yeah, I think they get their first dub.
Okay. Vikings and Packers. Oh, I agree with you. I think Bengals get their first dub. Vikings and Packers.
Vikings off tops.
Okay.
Vikings been smacking the Packers for the past 2 years, I think.
No, I think it's been relatively competitive between the Packers and Vikings, if I'm not mistaken. But I may be wrong. I want to say Vikings in this game, but I'm gonna go with Packers. I know that I've been very critical of Malik Willis, but he's shown a completely different side of him right now, and they're playing to his strength, which is what great coaches do in the NFL. Matt LaFleur is definitely displaying himself to be one of the top coaches in the league. So I'm going to go with Packers on this one, bro. Even though I understand.
Is that Packers' house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, that's why reason why I'm going with the Packers. So I'm going with the underdog on this one. Even though Vikings, they've been polished defensively, and then even having Sam Darnold, as a starting QB, and Aaron Jones, going against his old team, I could see him getting some reps. I could definitely see him having a big game. But it's that matchup again. Jair Alexander versus Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
So Sam Darnold, he's bound to make a mistake at some point. Really? So Broncos Jets.
That's gonna be a tough one because Bo
Nix. I got Jets, bro. I don't even think it's a tough one.
Bo Nix just showed out this past weekend, but yeah, I'm taking the Jets too.
Yeah, I'm taking it. That would look bad if the Jets lost that one against the Broncos, bro. That was a bad game. That was a good game for the Broncos against who they beat in that game? Bengals?
Yeah, no, they beat the Wait, who we talking about again?
Oh yeah, they beat Tampa.
Broncos, they beat the Bucks.
They beat the Bucks. Yeah. All right.
267.
Oh yeah. Patriots and Niners.
The Niners, man. They just lost, but that's another team that they gotta get back on track and find it.
I hear you. Okay.
I closely relate with them now. I closely relate with the 49ers now as a Charger. All of our best assets are hurt. All of our best players are getting hurt or just getting put out of the game.
Commanders and Cardinals.
I'm going Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. I'm gonna go with Cardinals on this one, bro. I'm gonna go with Cardinals, even though I've talked highly about them. I still have the Cardinals as a favorite. You know, I think the Cardinals will want to bounce back from that loss against the Lions, and that in a loss from the Cardinals would bring the Commanders back down to earth a little bit. So that's the reason why I would go with them in this game. Browns and Raiders.
I'll go Browns.
Browns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Chiefs and Chargers.
That's gonna be tough, man.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Hey, man, I'll tell you right now, Chiefs is spanking y'all.
By how much? How much you think we losing by?
Nah, I wouldn't say spank y'all.
Our defense, defense win games, man. Defense win championships.
Hey, Chiefs defense win games too, bro. It's on both hands.
Yeah.
It's on both hands, bro. Chiefs have a defense too now. It's in Chiefs offense, they have a lot more weapons, bro.
That's
so like we're gonna have to wait and see how things unravel with Justin Herbert to see if he's gonna be playing this week. But I still got the Chiefs, dog.
I don't think he should play this week. And on the defensive side, we have Joey out and Derwin James out.
So they have no protection. Or they have limited protection.
I'm saying on defense.
Oh, okay. I got you. But I think this is the game of the week, if I'm not mistaken. Bills and Ravens.
I say Ravens.
Ravens?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna hold you. This is a tough game to call.
The Titans. You talking about the Bills and Ravens?
Yeah. This is a really tough game to call. But you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens on this one, bro. No, you know what? Just out of the spirit, I'm gonna go with the Bills, bro. I'm gonna go with the Bills on this one. I know I don't have a lot of conviction in that, but given how the Bills have been rolling, I'm gonna roll with them, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll with them. Even though I think the Ravens obviously could pull out in this game, but I think this is just one of those games where the Bills might just get punched in the mouth. So I would say Bills win within 3 points.
Okay.
Bills within 3. And then so we got 2 Monday night games real quick. So we can just do this real quick. Titans and Dolphins, and then Seahawks and Lions last. So Titans and Dolphins.
I'm going.
That's a doodoo game right there. I'm not gonna hold you.
Gosh, I can't even tell, man. I would have to just flip a coin and choose that.
I'm gonna go with the Titans in this one, bro. Dolphins have not looked great at all in this game. I don't even know who's going to be the quarterback for the Dolphins. It's clearly.
They only scored 3 this past weekend.
Huh?
They only scored 3 points this past weekend.
Yeah.
Against the Seahawks, the 3-0 Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. But they was rushing the QBs. Stephen.
Well, Thomas. That's what you do when you have when you put when the team put their second street in, you send out.
Yeah.
You get them scared, man. You get that ball out of his hand so you can pick it off or make a mistake. So I'm hoping, the Chargers prepare for that when they put Taylor Heineke in this weekend. Prepare for the rush and just have plays in hand so they can make do with what they got and try to pull out this amazing win.
I'm gonna go with Titans, bro. Titans are more healthier. Even though Will Levis has had some questionable throws, I still think they have the weapons to pull them through. Even though you could say the same about the Dolphins though too, but given their QB situation, I think they lost a lot of continuity. Um, with Tua just being hurt, and it just puts them in a tough position. But they are at home though, so I wouldn't look past them. But then again, remember, Dolphins are break dancers, so they they,
Right.
they can't they can't play in the rain, cold, sleet, and snow. Now, this is also one of the games of the week: Seahawks and Lions. Undefeated Seahawks, like you just mentioned, against the Lions. Who you got in the game?
Uh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Lions.
You gonna go Lions?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
Even though I like Gino, I'm gonna go Lions.
hmm, okay. All right. I'm
Seahawks
a,
still prove themselves. They haven't been contenders for a while.
but you know what? Gino has been playing his best football as of lately. Defense has also looked tremendous. They look great. And even with Kenneth Walker being out, uh, Chardonnay has looked tremendous, bro. Looked great in that backfield. So even despite that, I'm gonna go with the Lions. More weapons. Um, I think the Lions do have a test ahead of them with the Seahawks defense, but
Okay.
I'm gonna pull through, especially with the Lions being home in Detroit. I don't see how they can't pull off that win.
Mhm.
And if you're going to be a Super Bowl contender, these are the type of football games that you have to win to cement yourself.
This is true.
You know what I mean? So, hey, bro, that's about it. We went down the whole shebang. So there it is. So, hey, this is Cash Media. If you liked the video, like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, any suggestions about what you guys think we should talk about as it pertains to this football season, highlight the things that you liked from this previous season, and what you have to say about our predictions for this upcoming week um, of games coming up. So it was a great one. We knocked out a lot.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna
Ready
see
for
y'all
week
soon,
4.
huh?
Ready for week 4, man. Chargers are
Before it
going to be
is, man.
optimistic. That's the word of the week for Chargers, man. Optimistic. And this is a team sport, man. This is a
uh,
team sport. We got to play as a team and believe.
man,
Same thing
having
with
a
the Giants, man. You guys gonna have to pull out a tough game too, because the Cowboys is gonna come with it.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? That's probably gonna be the Cowboys' best game. They're gonna have their best game in that stretch.
Right.
They gonna have the Cowboys, even though they look like complete shit against the Ravens, minus the garbage stats. Watch, they gonna put
Right.
up career numbers against the Giants, like always. But all right, though, man. So hey, thank you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for another episode of Cash Media. See you guys and have a good one.
Peace.